during this time to get ready for the draft. He was a senior at Indiana, so he's um, finishing his senior year school-wise. He wasn't able to play in the tournament; got cut short, which sucks. And now he's trying to take the next step and be able to play somewhere professionally and figure out the real world. So he's going to come here for a little bit, work out with me, and so the rest of my family. I have another brother who's 15, a little sister who's going to be 6. So we have a pretty widespread family. Most of them are in New York, but my brother who went to school at University of San Francisco, he's been living down here for 5 years, and he's been here. And then now Devontae's going to come out here, but everybody else is back home.
He's not here yet. So you're not working out with him yet.
No, he's not here yet. He will get here tomorrow, actually.
Okay, so I heard you early on when this all started. You did a podcast, or one of your podcasts. JaVale was on it. You didn't have any workout gear. You're like, I'm working out with paint cans that are left in the garage. But you were working out. Is that true? Or are you joking about that?
Yeah. So no. I mean, I was just mostly running the hills over here. I live closer to the beach. I was running the beach until they closed it. They closed the beaches and trails, running in the sand. But I was mostly cleaning and organizing the house, and that was most of my workout, heavy lifting stuff. I ordered some weights. We ordered a weight machine, which got here a little while ago, which helps. And the team has sent us a little package with a couple of dumbbells and some weights and some bands to work with. And they've been sending us, our strength and conditioning coaches have been sending us workouts, which is unbelievably helpful. But no, I was in line. We were figuring out ways to work out. I had to make a space to make a little workout room in the garage. And we had to continue to order, supply, like equipment, which is not cheap. And it also takes a while to get there. So I'm waiting, and just like everybody else, on packages, still waiting on some packages. But most of the stuff is here. We got enough weights to get a good lift in if we want to. And I was lucky enough to find and know some people that have access to, private gyms to be able to work out just one-on-one by myself to get some shots up. But still, none of those things simulate the real game, but it does help me stay in somewhat decent shape. But I think we're all eager and antsy to get back into the regular gym and be together as a group.
Yeah, I talked to Kyle Kuzma. People, what people were most surprised about, that he didn't have a hoop. He didn't have a hoop anywhere.
Yeah, I think people think we live like in a different world, like we're just in this bubble that we have access to everything, and we just have everything in our house. Like it makes no sense for us to have a court in our house. Mind you, top guys probably do in their main house, but a lot of us don't live in the cities that we are from, or we're going to retire in, or where our main home is. And even in our main home, it's expensive to buy a basketball court, and like most of us don't have basketballs. And we have access to a gym. So we have access to a gym. It makes no sense to have one in our house. So people just think that we have unlimited amount of gear, equipment. I said I had to because I had to go to the facility to actually get, like, I had all my equipment, like tights and stuff. I'm not going to buy new tights. I have 100 pair of tights at the facility. You have to call ahead. There's a whole process of them to bring out your stuff from the facility. But yeah, they think we have an abundance of everything. Basketball, weight equipment.
Right. We think you roll out of bed. We think you walk through your basketball court to your bathroom. On the way, there's a sauna.
They think we have cold and hot. We have none of those things. And also, they just think we have access to even tickets. That people think, oh, you guys get 1 million tickets. No, that's not the case. we get 4 at home, 2 on the road. And if we can get some from our teammates, the rest of it we have to purchase just like you. So, people just think we have access to everything.
So I was at your last game you guys played. That was 8 weeks ago. I mean, that surprised me. It was 8 weeks ago. I initially wrote down 6 weeks ago. Then I saw it was 8 weeks ago. Since that time, the league closed down. You all got coronavirus tested. You had to quarantine for 14 days. It was all so scary 8 weeks ago. Now that we're this far along, reflect back on that, kind of look at that and give me what your perspective is now.
Well, it's kind of unbelievable the times that we're living in, the times that we've had to go through, but it looks like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and things are starting to get back to somewhat normal. But I said it was just kind of a weird space, not just for us, for everybody. There's no sports on TV, there's no sports around in the house, no world entertainment. Everybody has to be home. Nobody's working. Kids aren't in school. Parents have to teach their kids themselves, homeschooling. College courses you have to do on Zoom. A tournament was canceled. People aren't able to watch March Madness. There's no March Madness really this year. So it was weird. And throughout the process, trying to figure out, obviously the first week or so, you're like, all right, I'm just going to hang out and relax and get some rest. and that's great and all. It's good to have a week or two of rest. Probably most of us need it, our bodies. But after a week or two, you're like, all right, I can't get out of shape. I need to figure out how to stay in shape. So when we do, because all of us are staying positive and figuring that we for sure think we're going to have a season and hopefully it gets back sooner than later. So when we do start back up, we're like, I have to be ready. I can't, be the only one out of shape or let my team down. I want to be prepared for when we open back up. So instead of figuring that out, making sure the family is okay, checking on them back home in New York. I would love to. A lot of guys want to get back home. I wasn't able to. Excuse me. I wasn't able to get back to New York. Obviously, it's a hotbed, so I'm not. It's not safe, so I wasn't able to just go back home. So I had to stay here. But to check on them, doing the podcast, checking on old teammates, old coaches, and just texting and chiming in. But it's another avenue I've seen doing my podcast, which has been great to be able to, speak to those guys, to be able to catch up with some of my old guys. But just here and there, randomly, daily texting, social media, making sure everybody's good, their family's good, and hopefully no one's been affected. Because I know my family's good, but a lot of my family friends have been affected, and it's been tough for some of them. But luckily, said for me, everyone that I know is close to me.
New
It's been
York,
okay.
your family, friends in New York. Which part of New York is your family in?
Yeah. Long Island.
Long
I'm from
Island.
North Babylon, New York. Most of them are still there. My father, we just recently, a couple of years ago, moved to Dix Hills, but it's still the Babylon area, Suffolk County area. And so we have family all over New York, though. My mom has family in the city in Harlem. My dad has a lot of friends in the city and also in bad areas, but mostly the Suffolk County area is where we're from.
I'm not sure it was recording, so let me ask you again. And your grandmother's
Mm-hmm.
there, and that beautiful picture of you two, because it was just her birthday in March, so she's doing fine.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, she's doing okay. Yeah, she's in Long Island, Suffolk County.
Yeah. You hit a bunch of things in that last answer that I want to hit with you just real fast if we can. You said the NBA is going to come back. Will the NBA come back?
Yes.
Yes, I know. You just said that.
If I had to.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
Well, you've been in 2 finals and 1, right? So you've been in 2 championships and 1. How does the NBA come back now?
Oh, man. Listen, obviously it would have been easier, smoother transition if it was to come back this month, earlier than we expected. But it's not looking like until June, because you're going to have some time to open facilities, time for guys to practice, to get back in shape. And if it was open, it said if the season came back earlier, then it would give an opportunity for us to actually get some practice and in some regular season games, like at least, 4 or 5. The longer this sits out, the longer it waits, it looks like we're going to have to go straight to probably the playoffs. And give guys a couple weeks or teams a couple weeks practice, and then who knows how the series is going to be depending on when it starts. If it starts later than we expect, it's probably going to be 5-game series. Maybe the last final 7-game series. I don't know. We're taking it step by step, day by day. I'm getting informed just like you guys are. I'm going on calls with teams and NBA to figure out what's going on and what the updates are. But it's all the same. It's something that they're taking day by day, step by step, and depending on, with each city, with each state, governor, mayor, the president, what they all what they all say is okay for certain states. Are they going to ease up the restrictions and the laws or the rules in California or New York? It's lightened in Indiana, but it's not lightened over here. It's lightened in Utah, but it's not. There's still a lot of restrictions in New York. So based on that, based on the teams that are in the playoffs, and based on what areas or what cities we can play in or what they can put together for teams to go to safely, is going to determine, how the format is going to be.
You know what? You're such a good person to ask about this because of the experience you have, and you understand that ramp up, right, to playing in the playoffs and getting to the finals. So now that we hit this right before you would have been in that last couple weeks till you hit the playoffs. I've been around the NBA now for a good long time. I can watch how teams ramp up and what they do. How will this affect this Lakers team? You guys were on such a roll. You had just won 2 big games. It really is incredible what happened here. How will it affect you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to affect us just like it affects everybody. I don't think it's going to affect anybody differently. The team that actually stays in shape the best throughout this time is a team that's going to probably win. But everybody was, at a pretty good pace or speed or standpoint in their season. It's 3/4 of the season, 3/4 of the way through. And if you're playing your best basketball or not, having the team camaraderie that you need, you're probably not in the playoffs, or you're probably not going to win. But everybody's taking a hit, not just us. And we were playing some of our best basketball. I felt like we were in a good rhythm at our peak. Not saying everybody was there, but everybody had a comfortable place within themselves, within their team, or their team being a comfortable spot, knowing what they needed to do, where they needed to be, and kind of knew their system and terminology, their coaching staff. So, for us, obviously rest was great after a week or two, but after that, then it's like, all right, especially when you have veterans or older guys, we don't need too much rest. Too much time off will turn into rust. So I think, but it won't just affect us; it'll affect everybody the same way. Guys that are resting, it'll turn into rust, not just for us, but for everybody and their team. Not saying individually, but more so collectively.
Um, do you think it would have been you guys in the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals?
It would have been interesting. I think they are a very good team. They play well. But I can't knock those other teams that had a chance that have been playing well. Also, the West is always tough. Obviously, the city would have loved that. The sports world would have loved that. They would definitely want to see Clippers, Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. LeBron, AD versus Kawhi, Paul George, and those guys. But Houston had been playing very well too, and we were up to play them right before the break happened. Denver had been playing well. There's a lot of other teams that have emerged and been playing well, better than expected. So it's hard to say.
Yeah,
but it would have been
but you're
interesting.
the guy who you played with Tim Duncan and Kawhi and LeBron. You're the guy who's been around those guys that know how to push it right there to where you do win. There's a difference, right?
For
So,
sure. Those guys, Kawhi definitely knows how to win. And I think with his experience, Paul George's experience, they definitely have an edge on some of the other teams. But Houston has some guys too that know how to win as well.
yeah, but what about
Denver,
LeBron?
we have some guys that know how to win too. So I'm just saying, outside of us, the conversation, I believe that we had a good shot of getting there. I also believe the Clippers had a good shot of getting there as well. But then again, so there's some other teams that have been playing pretty well and had a good shot of getting there, like a Houston or Denver. So those teams have been playing, I think, to a level to where they could have been. Any one of those teams, if they stayed healthy, it's not just about teams playing the best basketball. It's usually the healthiest team too. So you have to be healthy as well. Well, there's been some great teams that just were unhealthy at the time and weren't able to make it to the final stage.
I can't. I was just thinking about those names I just ticked off: Tim
Mm-hmm.
Duncan, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard. So you got to start a basketball game. Now you have your first pick. Which one?
My first pick, if I had to start a basketball game, like for my organization,
Yeah.
oh man, that's tough. Also, because during this time, so it depends on the era. Back 10 years ago, there was more of a big man era. I would go with Tim, in his prime. But now it's more of a guard-oriented era. And if I want to build my team around it during this time, this era where there's just up and down pace and a lot more threes, I probably would have to go with Bron. But no knock to anyone. It's hard because you can pick any one of those guys in one and still be great. I just think LeBron's the best all-around player that most of us have seen. And in
LeBron won't
terms,
think you. I mean, Kawhi won't think you just dogged him, Willie.
no, I don't, not at all. And he's definitely up there too. He's become one of the better. He's just a really great offensive player and great defensive player. He's still learning to lead, learning to facilitate, learning to find his guys. But he's a great all-around player too. One of the best defensive two-way players in the game. So you can't go wrong with any one of those guys because they're all great two-way players and great all around. But I think Bron as a 6'9" point guard is hard to pass up.
Let's get out of some of this basketball and the stuff I want to talk about. Your podcast. Who's been your
Okay.
favorite interview so far?
Oh man, now you put me on the spot here. My favorite, I like all my a lot of my guys, a lot of my people are the people I interview. So I love them all. I love to be able to catch up and see them. But I think who gave us the best stories since the pandemic, because obviously we've been doing this for about a year and a half now, almost 2 years. Even going back to Toronto, there's some of my teammates that were favorites even before then that I love that gave great stuff. But during the pandemic, that gave me the best favorites. Like my favorite stories has to be Big Game James and Kenny Smith. Up to date, Kenny gave us some great stories said that the Last Dance has been going on, and he told us about Mike and during those times. And James Worthy gave us a lot of good stories too about those times and when he was recruiting Mike. Michael and playing against them. So those two for right now are probably my favorite. But to everybody has been great. You know, I've had
That's a
Pal
North
on there. Pal's
Carolina
been amazing.
bias. You just had a North Carolina
Yes,
bias.
for sure. For sure, I have a North Carolina bias. But Pal was great. Pal, we had Pal on. We had
Yeah, he was
Jalen on.
great.
We had Todd Gurley on. Art Armstead. We had some great ones. Also, we had a interesting one about college basketball. If you haven't seen The Scheme, uh, it was a great show.
Is this game the one that happened over at ASU?
No,
Is it different colleges? That's a different one.
no, it wasn't just particular one school.
Yeah.
It was throughout the country, and it was a young kid who was kind of going around recruiting, kind of recruiting people for these schools, and he had gotten some trouble because the FBI had kind of got onto him, but he didn't think he was doing anything wrong because he thought high school players and college players should get paid. But Christian Dawkins said he gave us our time. He gave us his story.
Oh, good.
And
I'll
he
watch
was
that. I think
very
that's the only one I
ambitious. Yeah, on HBO called The Scheme. So he was great, and he had an interesting story, and about the NCAA and how things went about with him. So that one was a good one too. But we had so many great guests on, man. It's the number, the list goes on and on. I can't list everybody, but
So what
a
would
ton
be
of
your
great people. Just recently had Coach Williams on, so that was great too.
yeah, I also saw you do something for school with him. What would
Yeah.
be your get? Who would you really want to interview? What's your big get?
Oh man. Oh, we just had Isaiah Thomas on too. He was great. It's tough to say.
By the way, with Isaiah, he was Last Dance portrayed him as such a villain, right? Because Mike is the one you want to love in that one. And then Isaiah's the villain, but you guys softened that up a little bit. We got a better
Yeah, I
version
mean,
of Isaiah.
he's a good dude. I mean, obviously back then, you're a competitor, you're not going to be as friendly, especially on the court. Maybe off the court, but you're competing, you want to win. And back then they were old school, so they beat each other up pretty good. So there's definitely some ill tension, especially toward a team that you keep losing to. Mike's not going to like losing to a certain team, and nobody likes it. They're going to hate him.
How about
Just
Michael
like,
Jordan?
even though he definitely would be one of my top, he for sure probably number one, but my top five, people that I would love to interview would definitely be Mike. And I'd like to kind of step outside the box and do something
Yes.
different. I don't want to do just all sports guys,
So big get. Who's your number one?
I probably would do one, Hall of Fame basketball player, one Hall of Fame football player, because I used to play football and I love the sport. Probably artist, musician, actor, actress.
Give me some
just certain
names.
people.
Give me some big names.
Well, you see them all courtside at the basketball games, whether it's somebody from Game of Thrones or Denzel Washington, Will Ferrell. He's hilarious. There's so many people that come inside that Staples Center. Actors and actresses and artists. Even like a guy like Drake or somebody like that. Obviously coming from Canada, Toronto, playing for Toronto Raptors. He's one of the biggest artists in the game. Who just recently dropped that album. Jay-Z. He's the guy that I've looked up to since I was a real youngin', and I've been lucky enough to be able to meet him and be a part of his agency in Rock Nation. So yeah, those there's so many people. There's so many.
Those
people.
are all. That's a good list. I think you could probably get that list. I
I don't
think
know. It's not as easy as you think it is.
Oh, I know. I know what it
As you
takes.
think it is. Yeah. People, even though there's a pandemic, people are still busy and have schedules and also have families. So.
Right, that's really true.
Yeah.
So I saw Harrison during one of your podcasts. I think he asked JaVale this, and I thought it was hilarious. I like that you got your Lakers shirt on. Like, you're conscious of you put your Lakers on. I've noticed that with you. You're conscious of it.
It's maybe some things. I usually just wear whatever's around, and this is what's been around because all I've been doing is working out, and this is the gear that I've been working out in. So.
But here's the thing that Harrison asked JaVale. Have you put the jersey on?
I have not. Mind you, it's that we don't just keep jerseys in our house. Like you said, people think we have access to everything. We don't. We don't just have uniforms in our house unless we ask for one to give to somebody or just keep. But I don't have any uniforms here in my home. I don't own any.
So you don't roll one up and put it under your pillow at night and dream.
I don't. But it would be nice to have. It would be nice to have.
Danny, just because I'm not positive it was recording, because I think I did make that mistake. I need to go over one more time because I will be crucified if I don't. And I want to do it, Our Own and First Entertainment. And tell me why you picked Our Own to help out during COVID-19.
Like I said, I can't take full credit for doing the research and finding them. My team and some of my people here, because I haven't been in the community of Los Angeles for that long. I've only moved here since September, so I don't know it that well just yet. First Credit Union partnered up with me and some of my teammates, have done a great job, and they throughout the years. They did something with Javel, they did something with Alex Caruso, and I think the most important things during this time is to be able to have people be fed and have meals. AC did something with the kettle and delivering over 600 meals. Javel did something with La Petite. I can't pronounce it, but
Right, I did see it. I don't know.
I have it here somewhere, but he did something with, it's called, let's see what we got here. It's called Le Petit Cirque. I
Cirque,
guess it's
maybe it's just Cirque. La Petite Cirque.
Cirque. I don't know, man.
I'm
I said
like,
I haven't been here. I haven't been here for long, so I don't really know every organization well or all the names greatly. Nor do I speak French. It looks like it's French.
well, we both need to
Um,
learn it. You know what I
but
like, and this is what I was looking for, the hashtag. All dreams still apply here. I think it really
yes,
works for right now. All
for
dreams
sure.
apply here.
And we would just need, I think during this time, people just need encouragement and positivity. And like I said, the most important thing is people be able to eat and feed them. So providing meals, and like I said, I had my people do some research and find something different that I didn't know about. And then I finally researched on our own of the great things they've done throughout the community throughout the years. And even before this pandemic. So I thought it was great to partner with them and deliver, have groceries delivered to families to be able to provide and feed them. So I simply said it's important during this time for people to be able to have that I guess you would say option or access to food. Not everybody has it, and everybody's able to get some money. So there's not an abundance of it everywhere. Obviously, people were going crazy at the first start of it, fighting over toilet paper and paper towels and food.
I didn't have
Lucky
any.
enough, yeah, lucky enough. I mean, we knew that this grocery stores would still be able to provide or get in stock the essentials that we need. But so not everybody is able to have access to it or get the food or the essentials that they need. So be able to provide meals and groceries for these people, I thought was the most important thing.
This is such an extraordinary time. What have you learned about yourself during this stretch of time?
I think it was much needed for everybody. Everybody needed a reset. I learned, I wouldn't say a lot about myself, but I think it was great to be able to get the opportunity to have like some self time, not just for me, but for my family, to be able to keep in, because we're so busy on the road all the time, flying, traveling. Yeah, we say hello and see our family sometimes back home. We speak to them, but we don't have a chance to really spend time with them the way we want to. Even in the summertime, work never stops because there's always something going on, some opportunities, some of this. But be able to, take some self time to be able to, have the opportunity to, now I could learn a language if I wanted to. I can pick up another hobby. I can read books. I can, do more podcast stuff. There's so much stuff going on, hanging out with my girlfriend, my dogs, or if you have children, you're able to do that. Um, so this is definitely a time for me to be able to take some self-care and notice some of the things that myself needed, and to be able to, touch upon those points, whether it's, I need to floss more every day. I need to take care of my skin. Obviously not able to get haircuts as much or often as we want to, but able to take care of our hair and, make sure things are okay, with our bodies and with each other and ourselves, and getting checkups and making sure everyone's healthy, and also working out during these times, because the people that are affected the most, the ones that have health issues, one, and those are not in the best shape. And I'm just pushing my friends to build, we need to make sure you're healthy and in the gym, and make sure every day getting some type of work in. So when things like this do come around, you're not in danger or affected as badly as you should be, because a lot of them are too young to be affected by, like 30 years old, 25 years old. You shouldn't be this out of shape to where this could be dangerous for you. So there's so many different things that go down the list of what has gone on, what people are able to do and reflect and be at home, play board games and learn about each other and have fun in different ways, the better ways, the old school ways. I think it was enlightening and refreshing.
You look like you're doing fine with your hair. Your hair looks good.
I've been lucky. I've been able to get a haircut once throughout this period, maybe twice.
Some
But
minimum.
I wait every couple of weeks. I wait until it gets really bad. I give some time, and if I really need, because then I start growing hair where I didn't know I can grow hair. But yeah, I was like, I
Me
need
too, Danny. Me too.
have somebody come to the house. I was lucky enough to come by for a little bit. He wears a whole hazmat suit, mask and gloves, and it takes about 45 minutes to get a haircut, and then he's gone. Spray him down with some Lysol before he goes back home to his family, and then he's out the door. So yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for taking so much time with me. My producer's going to kill me because he wanted me to keep it short.
anytime.
But
Yeah, no worries at all.
it's been so great.
Yeah,
We'll see you. We will see you when you get back, and I
I
hope
hope
that's
so.
sooner rather than later.
Exactly. I hope we get back sooner than later.
Yeah. Thanks a
So
lot. Have a great.
you too. Stay safe. Keep the family safe. Give everybody my best.
I will. Same here. See you
All
later.
right,
Especially your grandma. Bye.
we'll do.